Hola, today we are learning 20 super common everyday Spanish phrases that are really going to help you have conversations with Spanish speakers, no matter whether you are having conversations in person or having conversations through text on a language exchange application. The first super common Spanish phrase that we have here is ¿Qué tal? And ¿Qué tal? Roughly translates to how's it going? Now, this is also very similar to another phrase that you have probably heard before, ¿Cómo estás? But here we have ¿Qué tal? So they are slightly different. And another cool thing about this phrase is that you may hear it in other ways as well. For example, you may hear ¿Qué tal tu día? So how's your day going? So ¿Qué tal? Is very useful and you are going to hear it a lot. And of course, don't forget that we have that accent mark over the A or E in Spanish. So we have to make sure that we stress that a little bit. The next phrase that we have here is todo bien. Todo bien means it's all good. And we have to make sure that we're really focusing on the word todo here, because sometimes as Spanish learners, we may want to pronounce this as todo. Todo, almost like toad and then O. But no, we're going to pronounce this as todo. Todo. I know that can be a little challenging. I know for me it has been over the past few years. But we are going to say todo bien and not todo bien. ¿Qué pasó? Means what happened. So maybe you are meeting a Spanish-speaking friend and you see them and they have some type of injury or something like that. So the first thing that you say to them is, ¿Qué pasó? ¿Qué pasó? What happened? Also, as you can see here, we have the accent mark over the A again, and then we have the accent mark over the O. So we have to make sure that we stress those when we are pronouncing them, because that makes all the difference. ¿Y tú? ¿Y tú in Spanish means and you. So this is something that you can say after someone asks you ¿Cómo estás? And then you say bien. ¿Y tú? So I'm fine. And you? ¿Qué haces? ¿Qué haces in Spanish means what are you doing? ¿Qué haces? And don't forget here, the H is silent. So we're not going to say ¿Qué haces? ¿Qué haces? But we're going to say ¿Qué haces? So we start from the A here. ¿Qué haces? ¿Qué es esto? ¿Qué es esto means what is this? So I like this phrase a lot because let's say I have a friend, a Spanish-speaking friend, and they have something in their hand, and I have no idea what it is. So then I'm going to say, ¿Qué es esto? ¿Qué es esto? A ver. A ver in Spanish means let's see. A ver. And in this case, we have the B or V in Spanish. And this V sound is actually not what it sounds like in English. We would think that this would be pronounced as ver, but it is not. So in Spanish, we're actually going to pronounce this with a B sound that you would hear in English. So ver, a ver. This one for me has been very challenging to remember, but just make sure that you really focus on making sure that this has that B sound. So ver, a ver. ¿Tienes planes hoy? And this is not planes, as you can see. So we're going to say planes, planes. And then here the H is silent. Again, we're going to pronounce this as hoy and not hoy. A veces. A veces means sometimes. And as you can see here, we have the B. So we're going to be saying a veces. A veces. And we're not going to say a veces. A veces. No. A veces, a veces. Tal vez. Tal vez means maybe. Tal vez. And with the word vez here, we have to focus on two letters. So again, we have ve, so it's not ves, or it's not vez either, but it's going to be ves, because the Z in Spanish has a S sound, so like the S sound. So S and Z sound exactly the same. So ves and not vez. No hay problema. No hay problema means no problem. No hay. And we're not going to say no hay. The H is silent. No hay. No hay problema. And for me, the word problema always has been very difficult for me because we have this P and R or P and R letter combination. So that makes that pro. So it's almost like a rolling R, but it's just very subtle. Problema. So you can barely hear it. No te preocupes. No te preocupes means don't worry. Now, this word also has been very challenging for me to say over the past few years as well because of the letter combination. So that's always something to keep in mind when you are pronouncing and practicing new words in Spanish. Estoy ocupado. Estoy ocupado. Estoy ocupado means I'm busy. And one little good tip here is when we're pronouncing the U in Spanish, it makes the U sound. No tengo tiempo. No tengo tiempo means I don't have time. No tengo tiempo. Me encantaría. Me encantaría means I would like to. No tengo idea. No tengo idea means I have no idea. No tengo idea. No recuerdo. No recuerdo means I don't remember. No recuerdo. Llámame luego. Llámame luego means call me later. And this accent mark, we have to make sure that we pronounce that. So we're going to say llámame, and we're not going to say llámame. So we'll be putting the accent mark on the second A or A instead of the first one. Llámame. Llámame luego. Nos vemos. Nos vemos means see you around. Now the translation of nos vemos is pretty tricky. So if you were to actually translate word for word, so nos vemos means almost like we see each other. But it actually means see you around. Hasta pronto. Hasta pronto means see you soon. Hasta pronto. And here we have the silent H. So we're not going to say hasta pronto, but we're going to say hasta pronto. Hasta pronto. I really hope that you enjoy learning these Spanish phrases. Now watch this video to learn 20 other Spanish phrases that you should know as a beginner.